Help yourself. I looked away across the street. A guy from school was riding his moped along the pavement through the crowds. A girl sat behind him. She threw back her head and laughed as he weaved in and out of the scared-looking kids. Her long hair flew about her face so that all I could see was her open mouth. "I'm a dad, Paul. Can you believe that? I'm a dad, and that makes you a big brother. Wait until you see her. She's too beautiful." "Have you got anything to eat?" I said. "Is that all you can say?" "She's not my sister," I wanted to say, but it was too late for that. He swerved out onto the road. There was the sound of brakes and a car hooted behind us. I saw him check himself out in the rearview mirror. "Where are we going?" I said. "To the hospital." "I'm hungry." "We'll pick something up on the way." We passed the queue outside the bakery. Kids, nannies, babysitters from Estonia, older kids from school all lined up outside. That's where I go for sandwiches at lunch, if I'm not having noodles from the noodle bar. I like watching the blue flames leap up around the noodle pan, and I like the sweet peanut sauce. If we have time, Pierre and I cross the Jardin du Luxembourg to go to McDo's on the Boulevard Saint-Michel. We take the boxes back into the jardin, and we sit on the metal chairs and watch the couples kissing wetly under the trees as we suck the red sauce off our chicken nuggets. Maman doesn't let Cindy buy our bread here. She says it is not artisan. She makes Cindy buy the bread at Kaiser, where the baguette has seeds all over that get stuck in my brace, and Maman says it is good for me. But I like the bread here. I like bread with white flesh that I can roll into moist balls between my fingers, and a crust that breaks into tiny shards that prick my skin. I like their pépites de chocolat, too. If I get to the baker in the afternoon at 15:50, which I can do after maths on Tuesday, then they are just coming out of the oven. They are soft and long and warm. The woman behind the counter wraps them in a small, thin sheet of paper that is like tracing paper, white with pale blue lettering. They droop in my hand. The chocolate chips inside are warm and smeary. The dough moulds to the roof of my mouth, and the chocolate turns to liquid under my tongue. I wished it was Cindy picking me up. When Cindy comes, she takes me to the bakery and she buys me 2 pépites de chocolat and a bag of cat's tongues, flat, green, acidy bands covered in granules of hard white sugar that scrape the tip of my tongue. She buys them with her own money so that Maman won't find out because Maman doesn't want me eating that stuff. But Cindy was probably at home, standing in the shower with her flip-flops on, spraying down the surfaces and the shower floor with Mr. Clean, picking at the dirt between the tiles with a kitchen knife. And Gabriel had come instead. He rested one hand on the steering wheel and with the other he reached into his leather jacket and pulled out a cigar. He lit it at the traffic lights by the Hôtel Lutetia. He sucked at it so that it burned red. "Too bad you don't smoke," he said, looking across at me. He had the seat heating on, and it was burning like a furnace beneath me. "Can't you turn the heating off?" I asked. "Don't you like a hot ass, Paul?" He smiled at me and revved the engine so that the woman in the car next to us turned and stared. I remembered his hand on my mother's ass, stroking her butt as she lay out beside the pool in Saint-Tropez. She was bursting out of her bikini with her breasts heavy from pregnancy, and his hand on her ass, and she never told him to stop. He looked back at the road. "One day you will," he said, and he laughed out loud. We were on the Boulevard Raspail, near where my dad lives. I sent a text to my dad. On my way to the hospital, I wrote, to see the baby. He must have seen the text. He spends his life on the phone, client watching, emails, calls, but he didn't reply. "Kind of typical that your mother chooses the most expensive hospital in Paris to have her baby," Gabriel said. His beard was flecked with gold, and he was still tanned from the summer. He had a strand of dark tobacco caught on the unshaven hair above the pink of his upper lip.